There it is. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are across the nation and around the globe. This is Deja Brew, and we are waking you up to truth one drip at a time. Welcome to Wednesday Wisdom with Jana. Hi, Jana. How you doing?
Hi, Kelly. Thank you for having me. I am really well, actually. It's been an incredible day, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm excited to have you. Today, we're going to talk about what it's like to be a regressionist and a regression E. Is that how you would say it? A
Yeah, sure.
regressioner? No, it would be E, wouldn't
Uh, uh, um, sure. Yeah.
it?
I
She's like,
thought about it.
it's all good. Okay, so from your perspective, because I know that you regress your husband, you're trained in the is it BQT? Is that how you say it?
BQH. BQH.
BQH,
It
right?
stands for, well, it's an acronym for Beyond Quantum Healing, which is a variation of QHHT, which was pioneered and developed and created by Dolores Cannon, which is quantum healing hypnosis technique. And one of her students actually wanted to have a modality doing the same thing to where we could do it online and via distance because QHHT requires a 6 hour session in person, and not everyone has access to going to someone's home or a hotel or what have you. And
Hmm.
so this allows us space to do regression sessions that are online via Zoom or call or whatnot, and it's more heart centered. It we Before the session we do what's called water alchemy. We set a strong intention, energize some water through that with that intention, which amplifies um, everything that will happen during the session,
Right.
and it's we call it the heart-centered modality of quantum healing. So she dubbed it beyond quantum healing, and the sessions run anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. Typically, they can go longer. I've had them go longer, 5.5, 6 hours, but it just depends. It depends on what spirit has in store and what the person's higher self and you know um, what's going on with them, what they need to know or learn. So.
Right. So tell me, what is it like for you to be the regressionist? Like, what is that experience like for you?
Well, I can tell you the first time I did, I had a bundle of nerves. And because I was sort of out of my element, I'm not a natural regressionist. I'm not versed in psychology or how the mind works. So I don't know what other people are thinking typically, and or how to get them to relax, and or how they function. So took the course, got certified, and my first session was with a person who does not visualize, and it typically weighs heavily on visualization, but
Yes, it does.
she was not able to visualize, so I had to, and I don't visualize either, so I had to kind of revamp it to where I wasn't leaning so heavy on the verbiage because it's all about words, and
Yeah,
come to find out.
that paint a picture in your mind
Right.
to relax the
So
mind.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so she she left feeling kind of dejected because she wasn't able to go into that what we call the somnambulistic state of mind where her consciousness goes elsewhere and spirit steps in and speaks through her. So
Yeah.
uh,
Which
I
would be like the same as theta or delta, right?
Trance. It'd be trance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we didn't reach that point, and so I was like, am I doing it wrong? Am I doing it? And then um, had my husband come in and kind of save the day and connect to her energy, and we were able to speak with them through that. But it's a surrogate session. But typically, it's kind of scripted. The whole process is, I mean, first you interview. Most of the time is spent interviewing the client
Hmm.
and
Right.
whoever's wanting the regression, and you
Right. Because
try
you got to
all the
kind of get to
content.
know
You gotta figure out
them. Excuse
all
me.
the that you're fine. All of the possible traumas that they're carrying around, and
Right.
because
So
everything
that you
ties in
can,
together.
because it's a navigation, right? When
Yeah,
you're doing a regression,
yeah,
you have to know how to like drive the car,
exactly.
really.
I'm
Yeah.
just guiding is all we're doing. So, and through the power of it's not really suggestion. It's taking relaxing the person, getting them to be here in the moment, and
Yeah.
um, relaxing them to a point to where they're comfortable, not asleep, not to the point of, well, some people fall asleep, but not to the point where they fall asleep, but to the point where they're just completely not worried about everything going on outside, you
Yeah.
know, and that allows the mind, the human mind, the ego mind, to kind of step aside, and allows me the chance to take them on a journey. So for
Mhm.
me, it's the script helps. The induction script helps, and you gotta kind of go into your. I had to practice my hypnosis voice. Be real calm
Right.
and
That monotone voice. Yeah.
hmm. Yeah. So, and you have to, as a regressionist, you have to bring in a calming energy as well. You have to be,
Yep.
for me anyway, nurturing, understanding,
Hmm.
compassionate, and just holding space for them,
Right.
because typically people who come in for regression are coming in to heal traumas or illness, and they're just a bundle of chaos mentally and
Yeah.
emotionally. So
Yeah. And a lot of times they're actually a bundle of nerves for the whole hypnosis thing because I've had many clients say to me, well, I can't be hypnotized because I don't want to let go of control.
right.
So, what do you say to that?
Well, and there are a lot of people who insist on maintaining control, who think they are in control, and there are a lot of logical minds. Like my husband is a very logical thinker, and those minds are probably the most challenging to set set at ease, and kind of
Yeah.
get them to relinquish a little bit of that dominance. But I just tell them, it's not about being in control. It's just about, why are you here? What are you wanting to get out of this? And how much are you willing to allow me and yourself
Right.
to accomplish that?
Right.
So
Right.
it's not about right. It's not like right or wrong or hokey pokey woo woo stuff. It's about,
Yeah.
how can I help you and
Yeah.
help me help you?
Right.
So,
Exactly. And that I love that you said that and spoke to that because I'm new at regression. I've only been doing it for a few years. And not a whole lot of clients.
yeah,
But there were some who were like, well, I'll just use an example, a very strong Leo male, right? Who wants to be in control of everything at all times.
sure.
And another one that was a very strong Virgo, who also is very analytical and wants to be in control at all times. So it was a little difficult at first to
Mhm.
get them to relax and trust me enough in that space. And I'm like, "Look, you're paying me $300. Like,
Yeah.
Relax. Allow me to help you help yourself, you know, because it's not, a lot of people worry that with hypnosis, especially this type, that we're leading the client or that we're trying to give them their answers for them. And that's not the case at all, is it?
It is not, absolutely not. That's actually frowned upon.
Yes,
Be-
extremely.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's not about me and where I want it to go.
Ouch.
As a practitioner, it's all about what's best for the client and what most will benefit them. And so it does nobody any good to ask leading questions, make leading suggestions. So we always have to leave it up to that person's mind as to where it goes.
Right. I agree 100%. I wanted to ask you too, have you ever experienced, because I have, like toward the end of it, when you're asking permission to talk to their higher self to help them to heal whatever is ailing the body?
Yeah.
Have you ever had one that was just like stumped, that didn't really offer any help? Because I did twice. And it made me wonder, were they not really under?
Right.
So, maybe guide me here because I don't really know what was going on there. Were they just too in control to allow their higher self to speak through, or were they maybe not really in the meditation state? What do you think?
Well, I mean, it could be a number of scenarios. Obviously, those are very highly likely. But it could also be that it's just their path to experience this. And typically, though, if
Good
we
answer.
if we
I never even
always
thought
tell
of that.
but if we typically if we ask for help, then spirit will help. But I have been told that there are scenarios and there are people, there are souls who have predetermined that they are going to live an entire life with this either chronic illness or pain or situation that they're experiencing. And it's not something that will be altered in any way
Able, we won't
because
be able to heal it.
it will alter their path, and that's not their chosen path. And so I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
that makes sense. It sucks for them, in my opinion, but that's what they
Yeah.
wanted. So, not consciously, not on a human level, because none of us want that. But on a soul level, that's what they wanted to experience. That was their chosen experience this time.
Right. It was part of their contract that they agreed to, and we have to honor the contract just like we honor free will. I
Yeah.
get that. I totally get that. That makes perfect sense to me. And I just kind of want to speak to that too, because a lot of people are like, well, I didn't ask for this ailment or the other or whatever. And they're very bitter about hearing those kind of statements come out of people like us.
Sure.
Right. So I just want to speak to that for a minute, because let me offer a scenario to help people wrap their mind around it if they do have an issue with that, that goes like this. You already knew that your willpower, your soul was so strong-willed that unless you had a real push, a real need for change, you wouldn't do it. That you would succumb to the lower vibrations and the lower things here on planet Earth and not push yourself to level up and change something.
Right. And there's so much that goes into it, and as it's been explained to me even earlier during the group session, the council was talking about how we we can change certain aspects of our journey and our experience while here, but the main theme of our lives is already determined, and it's things that, and it's not always roses and peaches and skittles and rainbows. Not everyone has an easy life. Some of us come down here and experience a lot of trauma and
Yeah.
serious trauma, you
Yeah.
know and it doesn't make any logical sense to the human mind why anyone would choose that. Why does a child have cancer? You know, why would a child choose that? Well, it's on a soul level, and there's a higher purpose that we as humans just do not understand. We don't have the expansive mind to
Mhm.
understand, but
Mhm.
it's just something that as a spirit is chosen to experience, and not everyone's here for a long time. You
That's
know,
right.
a
That's
lot of
yeah.
souls will come down just to have, a few years of experience.
They're
some,
here for
some
a season and a
right,
reason. Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
And no one but that soul and whoever they have agreements with know what those agreements are and what those experiences are going to be. Some people lose children as babies. Some parents lose
Mhm.
babies
Yeah.
and after they're born, and it's because maybe that parent's soul decided they wanted to have that experience and what it is to grieve. And there could be any number of reasons, and it
Right.
sounds asinine to the human mind
Mhm.
to hear that and go, why would I intentionally inflict that kind of grief and suffering on myself? But it's not on a human level. We're not setting these things up. And I always equate it to like a first year college students, because in spirit you have all these scenarios and you're like, oh, I want to experience this and this and this and this. It's like a first year college student
Yeah.
taking on way more than they can handle, and having to drop classes, as they go along and have the experience and get overwhelmed. That's where we get depression. That's where we get
Yeah.
suicide, because not every
Yeah.
soul is like, I can't do this, it's too much. And so they have to go and reset and try, rework
Yeah.
things.
That's a great analogy. A
Yeah.
first year college student. That's really great analogy
Yeah. And
because we do kind of bite off more than we can chew.
absolutely, a lot of times. And
Yeah.
personally, myself, I've only been here a couple of times, because I'm not here to have like all these human experiences, and I'm not coming back after this one, thankfully. But as far as all that, earthbound, what I call earthbound souls, souls who have incarnated hundreds and hundreds of times, that's where we get the term old soul, because
Mhm.
you can tell when someone's been incarnated like a ton of times, because they just have so much wisdom about them and so much
Right.
clarity, because they've done it so many times. It's like
Mhm.
basketball. Anyone can play basketball, but you have to practice and do it and do it and do it and do it over and over and over again to become good at it. And
Right.
so some souls are better at some things than, like I just say, everyone else is better at humaning than I am, because I'm not practiced at it. I'm trying my best while I'm here, but I came to help everyone remember and get back to their true self, instead of
Mhm.
being so immersed in the human experience.
Yeah. And that's what I hear from a lot of volunteers or star children, star seeds, indigos, whatever you want to call them, right? I hear that same theme. I don't have to come back and I'm not going to come back,
Yeah, it
right?
sucks.
And I can totally relate to that because that was one of my earliest memories as a child was when it hit me I was going to have to take public school here. And I was like, shit,
Yeah.
I got to do that crap again.
Wow.
you
That's
know?
a memory though. Goodness.
I was like, damn it. I didn't remember to think about that.
Yep. And
What a kick in the pants.
well, because on a spirit level, all they know is joy and love and
Right.
peace. They
We
they
forget all
don't
the bullshit that's here on earth.
instantly. It's like having a child going through labor pains in the birth process, and then after that
Right.
child's born, and you feel that love, and you hold that
You're
baby,
just
it's
like,
all
oh,
gone.
dude, you don't even think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh,
not even a year down the road, you're like, I want another one. And men are like,
yeah,
why would you want to go through that pain again? Well,
right.
because it's worth it. And so that's kind
That's
of
what
where
we
we're
did.
at. Yeah,
That's what we did.
kind
We
of where we're
totally forgot what kind of shit this is.
at. I equate it to wearing a shoe that's like two sizes too small for an entire lifetime because we're constricted in our bodies. We're not the
Yeah,
free,
right.
flying around energy creating worlds anymore. We're trying to,
Yeah,
make a living and raise kids and have our experiences.
right. Yeah, I can remember being a little kid and feeling like I was this little Marvin the Martian mech warrior dude up in the cockpit of my eyes, driving this big clunky machine, that was really just a tiny little toddler machine.
Yeah.
But I can remember vividly feeling like I just don't fit right with this body. This body don't fit me right. This avatar, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and even I did a QHHT regression that's on my channel actually. And I've always been open and honest about remembering this part of it, but it came up in my regression too that I didn't want to come.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't one of them that was like, "Let's go." I was like, well, I wish them well, but no. You know, I didn't want to go there again. And then I was like, okay, I know I got to do the right thing. They need us. They need the help to get over the hump.
Yeah.
And we do have that love and that compassion for humanity as a whole, even though there have been several humans to test that in my lifetime. And I'm sure that was part of my contract. I'm sure it was, so that I could still hold space and love people that are shitty. Because
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people like that, but I
Yeah.
still don't regret coming. Like I don't regret coming
And that,
because I feel like it is worth it and we're there finally. I really feel like we're there on the
yes.
precipice of the change of the transition, and it just feels so good.
Absolutely. That's why the world is losing its mind right now. And I know that's kind of the
Yeah.
scenario every couple of decades, but uh, you know, at least once a generation the world loses its mind, but we are in such a different time, and I know that a lot of people can feel it even if they're not awake, to all of the nonsense going on. Even if you still believe that the FDA's got your best interest at heart, and pharma
Yeah.
and the medical community is on your
And
side,
all the water
right?
supply companies. Yeah.
So everything is in such a different frequency now because so many of us have remembered, have awakened to our true selves, and we are thereby helping everyone else, to those of us who kind of woke up years ago, are helping those who are just coming into that awareness now, that are losing their minds, going, what is going on, and am I crazy, and why? And
Mhm.
we have the answers, but it's from my path personally, it's about bringing you back to your own awareness, not teaching you about it, not telling you about, but helping you become aware on your own, and just kind of guiding. Rather, that's why I've always had a thing for the paranormal. I've always had a thing for spirit and ghosts and stuff, but I became really just almost obsessed with the regression thing, because I'm like, how cool is it to be able to talk to someone's non-physical self? That is
Yeah.
freaking cool. And
Yeah.
Dolores Cannon's work got me all about it, and I'm just like, okay, so I have to get certified. I have to explore if I can do this, because I can't do it myself because I can't see or hear with my mind. So I'm interested in helping others go, get to that point. And because, there are spontaneous healings that happen during sessions.
Right.
There's emotional healing and trauma healing. My husband actually had a session, a BQH session with the girl who got me into it, and he was able to instantly during his session heal some trauma he had been carrying around. And that's why we get along so well now, is because there's none of that BS hanging over, hanging in his mind that affects our marriage.
Right.
And
Right. It is a really beautiful service
it
to be able to
is.
offer to people. It really is.
It
Yeah.
is, and there I have done sessions with a couple of people who later on told me, I didn't really get much out of it because I didn't really go into any kind of hypnosis state. And I'm like, it's fine. You got what you needed.
Yeah.
It might take some time. Not everyone has that instant experience. Spirit will. This one lady, she's like, I swear I was making everything up. I was conscious the whole time, and I was making everything up. And I'm like, I'm telling you right now, you were not. You were
Right.
because
Right. And that, I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I think people should take away from understanding what it's like to be regressed is that you are still in control.
right,
You are still consciously aware. It's not like you have some out of body experience where you're over there somewhere and you have no say so or no control over what's going on.
exactly.
And a lot of people, that's what they're afraid of. And that's why they can't relax enough to be regressed.
Hmm.
Just
That
because they're really, really afraid of totally letting go and thinking they gotta, they're gonna go on a DMT trip or something. And
right,
I
right.
mean, like, we're not taking acid, we're just chilling.
Right. And, are we going to make them cluck like a chicken when they hear a trigger word?
Yeah,
Just
right.
ridiculous stuff that you see on TV. But it's not like that at all. It's a beautiful process. It's a beautiful state to be in, because when you're in that state, well, the state Clarence goes to, my husband, when he trance channels, it's a little bit different. It's way deeper because his consciousness just leaves the building, like he just checks out. But
Yeah,
and you know how that goes because you do it.
yeah.
But
It's different
with
than just being simply regressed.
right, and the regression, you're still here, you're
Yeah,
still talking to me, but your consciousness is validly and actively in either another life or the scenario that brought you in the first place, or
yeah.
whatever, or a life as an energy being. There's stories of, there was a woman that was regressed that experienced a life as a rock, and went in
Oh,
full
cool.
detail about it. There were insects.
I love that.
One person was a worm, recounted a life as a worm. And then when
Right, right
you
on.
when you get back to speaking to the non-physical aspect, and ask them, what relevance does this have on why they're here?
Uh-huh.
And there's always something that's relevant about what they are experiencing during regression. Uh,
Yeah,
that
always. Yeah, I actually learned that the hard way. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, yeah, but it always helps with the now scenario because everything is tied together, and the soul from life to life will carry over different frequencies and what I would call memories, but they're not like this life memories. The soul carries those on an energetic level, and that's
Yeah,
where like phobias come from. If you were killed, like
right.
burnt at the
I think
stake,
so too. I
you know.
strongly feel that. Yeah, I strongly feel that all phobias are connected to a past life trauma and
Yeah.
birthmarks.
Yep, birthmarks have a lot to do with it
Mhm.
as well.
Yeah.
And uh, there was one who was burned, died by fire somehow. I can't remember the exact story, and it was one of the Dolores Cannon regressions. And
Mhm.
during this life, they were terrified of fire and heat. Terrified. Couldn't figure out why, but that's why. is because they
Yep.
were burned alive in another life.
Yep.
And
See, I can actually speak to that from personal experience. I'm not scared of heights, but
Mhm.
I'm scared of falling.
Yeah, me
And
too.
when I did my regression, I actually learned that one life that I had here, I was a 23-year-old lady in England who was an equestrian, and her name was Shelley. And when she got off her horse one day, this very handsome man walked into the horse arena field, whatever you would call that. And instead of getting a drink of water from the well, I decided to sit on the well, and I plopped back too far and I fell in backwards
Oh,
to my
wow.
death.
Yeah,
And that's why I'm afraid of falling.
that'll do it.
That'll do it. Cut
And
that life short.
yeah, and the one of the lives that, and I didn't do this through regression. I did it just by cheating and asking my husband during a channeling session. Um, I asked how many lives I've lived, and was told two. This is my second, and my previous one I asked all about it, and I was in what we now know as Africa, but I wasn't I was a housemaid or something, and I was female, and I wasn't a slave, but I took care of the house and, did the family's chores and stuff. And that was my whole life. And I was like, well, what was the purpose of that? And they said to learn, humility and humbleness. And I'm like, well, it freaking worked, because now I'm just like, I don't want any attention, and I'm coming out of it. I'm healing myself, but it makes sense, because I'm like very, very humble. And I used to have an issue with compliments, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
I think for one, um, a lot of my clients have that same theme that they don't like a lot of attention on themselves. And I think it's really beautiful that we're healing past life karmic issues in this lifetime. I think that's really beautiful. Um, but also, I feel like a lot of the volunteers, whatever you want to call us, have had to learn that lesson of true self love, true self acceptance.
right.
You know, like we want everybody else to accept us, but we honestly didn't even accept ourselves for who we are.
Absolutely,
You
100%
know,
spot on. Yeah. And I like the word volunteers, because I've asked, I'm like, why in the world am I here? Why did I agree to come to this suck planet in this suck density? Because it sucks here. And I
it
was
can.
told that, I was like, did I hear a call? Why? Why? And it's because I have so much love that I wanted to help, and so I
Yeah.
volunteered to come and help. And so,
Yeah.
I've had traumas in my life, but nothing that I haven't healed. I don't have any more traumas that weigh me down anymore. So I'm in a
Mm.
place where I'm able to extend, you know, from I would say a limited experiential standpoint. Like I wasn't molested as a child, and I don't have many childhood memories, so I don't have that kind of uh, experience. But I do have a ton of empathy. I have been through some crapola, and
Mhm.
whenever I find that people always come to me and ask for either advice on how to heal all that stuff, which was another reason I got into the regression work. And because I want to have all the ways that I can, all the tools in my belt to be able to help. And
Yeah.
that is a huge one. And the trance channeling is another one. And I talked to Spirit about the council about the muscle testing and emotion code, and they said go ahead for it. you're not gonna, you don't need to take the class. And it reminded me of what you said the last time. You're like, I'm kind of a buck the system who says I have to do that, and I'm like,
Right, because you don't need a certificate.
confirmation. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
confirmation. So I'm
yeah,
offering that as a service
great. I'm
myself.
glad you are. And I want to just speak also to the regression and that being another form of healing that we can offer to people because like I'm an energy healer. I can heal people. I brought my daughter back to life when she was
Yeah.
10 years old in a car wreck.
Wow.
Um, documented. I'm a very good energetic healer, but there are some people that you just don't know what there is to heal
Right.
unless you regress them.
Exactly.
And that's actually the topic I brought up earlier when I said I would explain it later. I learned because I'm a medium too, right? I'm a medium channeler.
Mhm.
And spirit just speaks to me at will. I don't have any control over when spirit talks to me.
Right.
And when I first began regressing people, I was trying to be very rigid, very strict to the script, the book, the way it should be done, right? You know what I'm saying? We've all been there. And um two spirits stepped in, a grandparent and another grandparent from the other side of the family. Both step in the middle of this regression and I'm like, "Oh geez, thank you. Please wait. We're doing this." Right?
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, you don't understand. We need to talk to you. You need to tell her this. You need to tell her that." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll tell her when we're done." And they're like, "No, you don't understand. We need to tell her now." And when I told her, I didn't understand it, and I'm not ever supposed to, right? And I've learned that now. You're not supposed to understand it. You're just supposed to be the conduit to transfer the message.
Right.
So I transferred the message to her, and immediately she starts breaking down, bawling. She's releasing all of this energy, all this trauma. And when she could finally regain her composure, she actually explained to me how she she had married um, a different race of man, and her family was very much against biracial intermingling and stuff. So, long story short, it had actually created the physical issues that she was experiencing in her body,
Hmm. Yep. That trapped emotion.
trapped emotion. And they were there to help release that because they realized that they had caused this for her
Wow.
and they had nothing but love for her. And after that, I had nothing but complete humble respect for spirit and the spirit world because here I am thinking that I'm going to be in control of this shit. And little did I know that I wasn't trusting the process.
Yeah. Yeah, we like to think we have control, that we're the
Yeah.
ones calling the shots, but I mean, I've learned that, and it's like I tell all my clients, leave expectation, any and all expectation out the door. You can be hopeful, but don't come in expecting anything. Don't come in expecting
Yeah.
miracles or for things to be a certain way, for things to look a certain way, for things to go a certain way, because
Mhm.
spirit has their own agenda and they already know what happens. And so they're
Mhm.
going to, 100% of the time, they're going to do what is necessary in the now that
Yeah.
nobody understands, that
What's
will
the best?
lead to
Yep.
that scenario that's best for you down the roads, because
For your highest good.
everything is tied in together, everything connects. And it's you absolutely, as a practitioner, have to trust what spirit is doing, because
Yeah.
shoot, we don't know from this minute to the next, what's going to happen. I don't know what their agreements were. I don't know what their chosen experiences were. I don't know where they're headed. It's not for me to say it needs to be this way or it needs to be that way,
Right.
you know.
Right. It's not our choice, it's not our life, it's not our place.
Right.
And trusting spirit because spirit really is the one that's in control and
Absolutely.
knows what's best no bias and no judgment and no nothing.
And that's the key. It's no judgment ever, ever. It's
Yeah.
nothing but love. And I've actually had people ask me, like, those who are not awake yet, think this kind of stuff is satanic, and how we're messing with. How do you know it's not a trickster energy, or a demon or something? Well, because you can feel it. You know, the energy doesn't lie. No one's tricking me anyway, because
Yeah.
I work, I am of, and I work strictly with the light that
Right.
comes.
That's me. And I always put the protection of light around me too before I
Yeah,
begin. Like
yeah, and
I
it,
always put a merkaba specifically of
yeah,
light around myself and the client
and
before we begin.
so it's just a matter, and I do hear other practitioners talking about um, entities that come through when they're trying to talk to the client's higher self, and I'm like, it just, because you believe that that can happen, and so you can experience, the client either believes it or you
Hmm.
believe it strongly enough to where you leave that possibility open to have that experience, so you're actually creating that experience by doing that. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, where I come from, there's nothing but pure love and joy and healing and
Hmm.
happiness. And so I've asked, through sessions, I'm like, why don't I ever experience any of that? And they're like, because that's not the level you work on. It's not something that you came here to experience, and it's not something you believe in. And I'm like, okay, so that makes perfect sense. So it's I don't create that scenario and that experience, because I don't, that's not me. It's not who I am. It's not the energy that I am, And when I say it's not who I am, I'm talking about the non-physical larger aspect of me, my true
Oh,
self.
I understand what you're saying. I just also feel like you're just not ready to open up to those avenues yet because I do feel like you have the potential to do them.
Mm,
And you actually reminded me of a client that I had once who she didn't believe in aliens or UFOs or anything of a woo factor, right? She didn't want to do past life. She didn't want to do any of those things. She just wanted to be regressed simply to heal her body in the physical, in the now,
mhm,
right? In the present. And in the process of being in the regression, she her higher self actually took her to a completely different world where she was a completely different type of being and showed her that she actually was another type of being before, not just human.
right.
It showed her several other things that in her physical human mind, she was really for sure that just isn't supposed to be part of her path. And so I would just like to ask you to always keep an open crack for the possibility that there may be more for you that you don't yet realize.
Well, I'm I'm completely confident that whatever comes is supposed to.
Mhm.
So I'm at a, I would, what I term as a level of consciousness, to where I'm focused on bringing the, what we term, and I hate labels, and so I stumble whenever I try to talk about it, higher truth, because
Yeah,
the
I
realm
understand.
the realm that we truly come from, none of that exists. It's when we get down into,
Right, none of it matters.
yeah, like the fourth and
Yeah,
third density that we're in, it, that stuff is real, and
and
I
it
do
matters here.
know, I do know that there's a sea of lost souls that are earthbound, that get addicted to the physical experience and
Mhm.
completely forget who they truly and what they truly are, so they don't go to the light, like you see in movies. Go to the light. Well, they
Yeah,
don't know that they're supposed to, and they want to stay, and so they look for anyone walking around and trying to live their life who will allow them to hang around so they can feed off of that energy. I know that stuff happens.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am not, it's not,
Ooh.
it's not my thing. It's not my
Yeah.
area. So it's not that I don't believe in all of that other stuff. It's just, it's not what I'm here to do. You know what I mean? So I'm,
Hmm.
I'm, I want to say hell bent on bringing people back to their remembering of who they are. That's my mission.
Yeah. I feel like that's the mission of every volunteer,
Yeah.
is to bring us
It's so
back to who we truly are, because one of the phrases that I was given is that we are who we've been waiting for. We just
exactly.
don't know it yet, you
Yeah.
know. But I also firmly feel that in the process of being able to learn how to be a great teacher, we have to learn what we have to we teach what we most needed to learn,
Right. I agree.
right?
Hmm.
And I definitely learned that lesson the hard way, because a big thing for me is self love and self acceptance, because I never had that. My entire life, I never had those things. Um, I never had self love because nobody ever accepted me. So it always put this different opinion of me in my own mind, right? And they don't teach you how to love yourself. They
Right.
don't teach you how to trust your own intuition. They don't teach you how to trust your gifts.
No.
And so I had to learn to navigate this life being a medium my entire life, being someone who came here with memories and everybody thought it was bullshit.
Right.
And so I've learned a lot on my path. And a lot of what I've learned were things that my free will said that I don't need to learn. That's just not for me. And then Spirit has this wonderful way, a twisted sense of humor, if you will, of saying, listen, you actually did need to learn that. So I'm very careful. I mean, kudos to you if you're for sure that's what's going on with your path. But I am very, very careful to not ever say this or that is not something I'm meant to know anything about it, because I'll be damned every time I'm
Yeah.
going to be thrusted into it. And I don't even want to mess with that juju.
And I don't blame you at all. Actually, I've been told, because I ask a lot of repeating questions when I talk to spirit, and because sometimes it just doesn't land, and maybe I'll get something more out of it if I can ask in a different way the next time. But spirit's like, we've
Mhm.
already told you this, and I'm like, okay. So but they have said that, like soul retrieval, and you know what I'm talking about. Is that a familiar
Mhm.
term for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, soul retrieval and all of that kind of heavy stuff is not, it's just not why I'm here. So, it's a little bit lighter for me than it is for a lot of for a lot of other volunteers that come, so it's I do have the awareness of the work that is done, and it's not easy. It's taxing. It can be draining, and it can be overwhelming and all consuming. And I am absolutely here for anybody who does that kind of work. If you need a shot of energy or a blast of love, I am here for that, because I know it can be overwhelming. And I've seen it
Oh, you mean for me?
for anybody who does that kind of work.
Oh,
You know?
yeah. I mean, that's actually something you have to learn to do this type of work, is how to transmute the energy so that you never feel lack or drained or whatever. I've even people in my family are also energy healers, and they always had this frame of mind that they had to take it on themselves
Mhm.
in order to remove it from someone else. And I was always that one saying, no, you don't take it into you. You recycle it into the earth and transmute it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't ever put it into you and keep it. That's not good.
It's definitely a learning curve for sure,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
because
Oh,
I've
yeah,
had those for a long time. I was an absorber. I was a sponge of energy, and I
and a lot of volunteers are because 'cause they're empaths.
yeah, and you have to get to a place, and you can only do it yourself. Nobody can learn it for you. You have to get to a place where you are not attaching and not bringing that on board as your own, and it's just you allow it to flow through, and then let spirit take care of the rest. And there's some techniques that I've found helpful, but
Yeah,
as far as all that dense icky stuff, I for every now and then I will have a moment where it's like, why am I so angry, right? Why do I want to punch my fist through a wall? Why do I want to, like, unalive somebody that I don't even know? Because, and those are just emotions. I would never act on it. But I just get this rage every now and then. And I'm like, okay, now I recognize what it is. It's not mine. I'm feeling what the collective is feeling, and it's my responsibility now, it's my job, what I volunteered to do, is to get rid of that, and to bring it back to love. And
yeah, transmute it, and
yeah,
that's
so
actually a very hard thing for empaths to learn just in their day-to-day life, to be able to delineate and discern, is this my energy and my emotion, or is this someone else's that I'm picking up on? Because we really do absorb the energy of a room when we walk in,
yep.
just like we read the room, and we know that, if it was a happy room before we came in, we know that. If it was argumentative, we can feel that. If they were talking about you before you walk in, you know that. Like, you just instinctively know. You can read the energy. And you have two choices. You can feel it and absorb it, or you can notice it, be aware of it, and then transmute it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, transmutation, it takes some practice, but it's way better than the alternative.
Right.
Way
Absolutely.
better. It's worth
Absolutely.
the work. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, because it makes you a better person and it makes other people a better person without infringing on their free will and without trying to manipulate anything in any way. It's a really beautiful way to just call out the good
Mhm.
in everybody in the room, you
Yeah.
know?
And I'm glad you brought up free will. I wanted to actually, it gave me a thought, and I wanted to just relay
All right.
it.
All
And
right.
it's
Think it
both
out.
because what I've been told by my guides and the council is that I know that there's this concept or idea with humans that if someone's in need or hasn't asked for help, that you should just stay away and not try to help them. But they have told me that you can go ahead and send healing. You can go ahead and say your prayers or however you do it, and
Mhm.
it's up to their spirit to decide whether to accept it or not. So you're not hurting anything. You're not infringing on anyone's free will if you go ahead and, to yourself, send the
Right.
healing, send the love, because ultimately, no one can control what you do. No one can control what I do. If I want to send love to someone, I do, and I do it
Yeah.
often. So it's just a matter, will they receive it or not? Up to them.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. Exactly.
there's
Exactly. It's really no different with energy healing, actually, because people can come to you and say, I want you to heal me.
yeah,
But really, all they want is the band aid because they don't fully believe in it.
right,
And if they don't believe in it, then their free will is blocking the blessing of the healing. And
yeah.
so it's just a band aid, it's just a temporary fix.
And that's it. That's exactly what it is. It's not up to the healer to
Mhm.
fix anything or to heal anything. It's up to that person who's
Yeah.
asking for it to accept it or not. So
Yeah.
just because you weren't healed or something didn't go the way you wanted it to when you come to someone for healing, check with yourself and you know internally and mentally and say, was I open to receive this? Because if not, nobody, no matter how good they are, no matter how powerful they are, will be able to.
Right. Right, exactly. And that was really, for me as a healer, that was a hard lesson for me to learn in my own journey as
Oh,
a
because we
healer.
want everyone to be healed, right?
Because, yeah, I just wanted to heal everybody. And when it didn't work, it would make me feel really bad and like second guess myself,
Your ability,
you
yeah.
know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started learning that, if they're not open, if they're not fully open to it, I can't heal them as well as I could heal someone else. Now, my daughter that I literally resurrected was completely unconscious. She had no choice in the matter, you know. I did completely override any type of free will she may have had in that moment. I absolutely did. And I would do it again in a heartbeat with no regrets because that is absolutely what I wanted for her. This is the same daughter that is now estranged from me and has been for many, many years. And
Yeah.
that's okay with me because she has a life.
Right.
And that was what was important to me, that
Right.
she would continue to live and experience on this earth plane.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she got, you know? Yeah. So hard lessons sometimes, but
Yeah.
definitely all worth the lessons. And for me, I think that's something I want everybody to always know about me is that it doesn't matter how much I may know or how much I may be able to do that I can teach to others. I am still always and forever a student as
Mhm.
well. I am always open to learn more and I love learning. I love it. I'm like
You
a
so
sponge.
answered yes. And it's funny because I have a terrible memory. I'm talking, I can't remember what I wore yesterday or anything that I did, short-term memory stuff. But and like a lot of stuff from high school, which was, I'm not going to say how long ago, it was quite a while ago. Um it I don't remember a lot of stuff from school, but you get me on like metaphysical stuff about spirit, quantum stuff, and I'm a
Yeah.
sponge. It's
Yeah.
I mean, that's why, but it's like my memory is terrible. But stuff that has to do with my purpose and my passion,
Hmm.
that's what I retain. And so I can come on to your podcast without any preparation whatsoever and talk about this stuff because
Right.
it's not my human mind that is recalling anything. I'm remembering from a spirit level and it's just flowing.
Yeah,
So,
but I feel the same way. For me, Wednesday Wisdom is going to be the easiest show to do all week long, and the one that I don't want to say that I'll enjoy the most because I enjoy all of them a lot. I enjoy all the topics that I cover. But I mean, the spirituality, the spiritual growth, the journey, that's my passion too. So
yeah.
I don't have notes in front of me like I normally would for everything else,
Right.
This is something that can just easily speak from the heart. And like you, I don't have to remember dates or events or situations that happen to connect dots and all of these things because this is my life journey. This is like we're speaking of our life, our experience. And that's what I love about this show is that it's just so easy and we can freestyle it because little do people know I'm not really a fan of being that organized. I like to fly by the seat of my pants.
You and me both. Right. Right there with you.
I work best when I can just fly by the seat of my pants.
Mhm. And
So,
I didn't know if I was going to mention it or not, but I'm going to go ahead because we're on this topic. It, as far as being organized and having all your ducks in a row and all your boxes checked before you do anything, and it's not my style, it's not my personality, it's not who I am. But
yeah.
this workshop I mentioned to you earlier during the day is something completely out of my wheelhouse. It's out of my character because I have to get somewhat organized to do all of it. But I'm creating a 3-day workshop to answer how, who, what, where, and why. How, who, what, when, where, why. 6 questions. I think that it adds up to 6 questions. But anyway, it's 2 questions per day we go over, and I'm not teaching anything. I'm just guiding anyone who wants to participate with to their own remembering and their own true self and their own revelations and realizations. So I've been told it's going to be very impactful. And so that I've been told to relax. Spirit said, relax, stop stressing about it, because I'm not an organized person. I don't take notes very well. I don't organize things well, and I don't hold a calendar for anything but meetings. So it's going to be an interesting thing. I'm doing the pilot here in a few weeks, but after that, depending on how it goes, we'll launch publicly. But it's right now it's in the works, and I'll let you know how it goes. And hoping to get some feedback. If you would like to attend and I don't know if you have time, but if you'd like to attend the pilot, because it's kind of a thing where I'm mainly looking for feedback, because I don't know what I'm doing. Spirit just said, do this. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do this.
All right, cool. Send me a link. I
I
love it.
will.
And that's actually a good segue for next week. We're going to actually talk about how to know if you're on the right path for your life purpose and stuff.
Very good.
So,
I'm
yeah,
there for it. I'm so there
your
for it.
event, yeah, your event that you're doing fits right into the topic that we're going to be talking about next week, and I love that. I
Yeah.
love synchronicity, you
It,
know.
it's, like we said earlier, we're so like synced up, Spirit has a way of doing that.
I know. I just think that's so freaking cool.
It,
I
well,
just love how it always works.
everything that is part of your passion, part of your highest excitement, is going to flow so easy like that. That's when
Mhm.
synchronicities really start to ramp up and happen, is when you're supposed to be doing something, then it just flows so normally, no
Yeah,
effort,
yeah.
and that's how you know. That's how you know. That's how I
Right.
knew that my husband was the one. I never had to worry about, is he going to call me? Does he want to be around me? I never knew what that was like until I met him, and we met on this really sketchy dating site, and it was
Oh,
a bad
no.
one. It was a bit, if you can name a bad one, it's probably that one.
Oh,
But
my goodness.
we were both in a place where we weren't looking for anything, and so we hit it off, strangely enough, because there was a lot of creepers on there. But
Yeah.
we met in person after a while, and haven't spent one day apart since. It was just effortless. I mean, it's been how many years now, Clarence? A few. It's been like 11.
How many years has it been?
And so, and like I said, like I was saying earlier, we spend every day together in a confined space, and we're never not around each other, and we get
Yeah,
along. There's no, I mean, there's a tiff every now and then, but there's no blowout arguments. There's no fighting. It's beautiful,
yeah.
seamless. There's no effort, and I truly had never experienced. I've been married twice before. I never
Mhm.
experienced that, but that tells me that's who I'm supposed to be with, because it is so easy. It doesn't take
Right.
any extra effort for me to adore
Mhm.
him and for him to adore me. That we just are, you know.
Right. And you give everybody hope out there for online dating that it can still
I wouldn't
work magic
recommend
even though it sucks and it's scary.
this was over 11 years ago, so I don't know if I would do it now. But
It's pretty hell scary out there. I'll be honest.
well, for
But
anyone wondering, is this the person? If you have to ask that, then it's not.
exactly. And that's what I tell my clients when they call in on the psychic hotlines. I'm like, I'm here to simply be confirmation for what you already feel in your heart.
Yeah.
So if you're already asking the question, then you already really know the answer.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
100%.
most times, because on occasion there is the rare person that's just still not healed enough, and they're freaked out and worried it's all going to go south. There are
Well,
those too.
there. Yes. Yes. I will say that when he and I met, absolutely not healed. It was not awake. Neither one of us was healed. We brought a lot of emotional baggage and mental baggage into this relationship. And at first we fought, and there were issues. But while we were getting to know each other, there was never, do I call him? Does he call me? Why won't he return my calls? Should I text him? Does he want to be around me? I never had to wonder
Right.
that, you know?
Why didn't he read my text yet?
Right. And I had never
That
ever
panic.
experienced that. I didn't think that was even possible. And then when I asked Spirit about, us meeting and this and that, I'm like, have we lived lives together? They're like, no, this is your first one. And I'm like, so it's been so easy. They're like, yeah, you think it's because we set it up that way. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah.
That's exactly what they were like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that's the way my spirit guides talk to me. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. I love
Okay.
Spirit. They have such a great sense of humor.
They really do.
It's
And
sarcastic.
they really do, like, they're tailor fit to each of us and our personalities. If we need somebody that just cuts to the chase and shoots from the hip, that's who you're gonna get. You're not getting the fluffy bunnies and rainbow puppy dog tail kind of spirit, that just has like a bazillion buckets of patience for your crazy ass.
Yeah, yeah. The first time I spoke with Clarence's higher self or soul, I won't say higher self, but soul. He was very, and you have to know my husband to really appreciate this because my husband, he can be just the life of the party. He can be a cut up. He's always joking around
What's
and
his zodiac sign?
you're Cancer, right? Capricorn. He's Cap. And
He's a
very,
cardinal.
very logical mind, and
Yeah.
he can be very,
Traditional.
very serious, very traditional, very serious
Mhm.
sometimes. And whenever the first time I spoke with his soul was very matter of fact, very dry, like he can
Yep.
be, like his human personality can be. But then as we spoke in a couple more sessions, I guess the more comfortable it got with me, his energy did. And it
Mhm.
just became sarcasm and joking around. And I'm just like, there he is, you know? So
Yep.
his personality is exactly like his soul's personality. It makes me
Yep.
laugh the way that everyone's so shocked that like the council earlier in the session was like joking around and being sarcastic and had all of us laughing, and everyone's so surprised when they come across that. They're like, I thought it was so sacred and serious. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
where do you think we get our personalities from? It's from
Yeah.
spirit.
Right.
It's
We're not really sitting in a library and everybody has to whisper.
I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not like that at all. They want to give us happiness. They want to um, put us in that happy spot because it
Yeah.
raises our vibration and it gets us closer to alignment with who they are.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were
I
going to say,
agree.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I don't even know what I was gonna say.
I've been a rambler.
Um, but we have went about an hour now. So in closing thoughts, well, I'm just gonna plug our Sunday show first, real quick. Beyond the Veil, Private Eyes. Tune in for that tomorrow. We're going to be talking about Three Eye Atlas. Who knows what's gonna come from that? But we're gonna try to find some resolve anyway. And then next Wednesday, of course, we will be back again for
Yes.
another Wednesday Wisdom, and we will talk about how to know if you're on the right path for your life purpose, your soul's purpose, and if you're not, how to get there. So, anything else you want to add to that? And your event, tell them about your event again.
Well, it's a pilot right now, the workshop, so it's not open to the public just yet. But what it's going to ultimately be is just a gently guided uh, journey, a 3 day journey to, if you're searching for kind of who you truly are, how to connect with that part of you, and to answer some questions you may have internally, like what's the purpose of life, all that kind of stuff. No matter what level of your journey you're on, there's something there for everyone. So I ask deep questions, but in a way that helps you self-discover. And I'm not telling you how to think or what to believe.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
it's just a workshop to bring you back to yourself is all. And I'm very excited about it because it's not my doing. It's, inspired by spirit. So
Yeah. And how did you say the who, what, when, where, why?
yeah, the
Something
six
like that?
questions, the six
Did I get it
questions.
right?
Yeah. The how, who, what, when, where, and why. Yeah.
Cool. I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely send me a link. I want to be there.
I absolutely will. And I look forward to the 3 Eye Atlas conversation. That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. We hope you have a great evening. You've enjoyed this. Hit that like button on your way out the door. And until next time, be loved, be well, and be blessed in love and light.